conversation, a review of some of the highlights in 2021. A OnePlay Plus original with me, Tilly Kinipa, and I'm doing today's conversation with Abrantepa, the head of entertainment at Ghana Web. You're welcome. And you're also welcome to OnePlay Plus and OnePlay Africa.
Thank you. It feels good to be the first person to be on the show.
Yeah, it feels good, right?
Yes.
It means that you should be scared too, because anything that comes in mind,
Really?
you'll be at the receiving end of it.
Well, we've been in the industry for a very long time. I'm not sure we are scared of any backlash because bashing of us.
Well. Okay, so before we even dive into the conversation or whatever topic we are going to talk about, how was your 2021 personally? Your 2021, not industry.
Okay.
Personal.
I think for me, 2021 was a good year for me. I've seen a lot of growth. There are a number of things that I have done that I set out to achieve, and I've been able to do it with the help of some people, both in the industry, family, friends, colleagues at the office, and all of that. So even though we're not able to achieve everything, I would say that the progress that we made, it's very, very significant. So 2021 has been a good year.
That's nice. And I think an industry that has also made a significant improvement in the year 2021 has been the comedy industry in Ghana. And over the time or in the year under review, there's been a lot of comedy shows, and all of them have seen tremendous amount of people trooping in to even come and witness. First of all, I would like to ask, what do you think about the growth of the comedy industry in the year under review 2021?
So fortunately for me, I've been to, if not all, about 95% of the comedy shows that were held.
I think when I saw you, you said you're going to report it.
Oh, yeah. Yes, at the Snap Cinema, right?
Yes.
That was Legacy show. Yeah, so
Beautiful.
I've been to like more than 95% of them. Unfortunately, COVID messed all of us up. But when the restrictions were eased, I saw our comedians come out to organize events, and I was so much happy because, there's this perception about GH comedy. Whether it is true or not, I have always said, and I'll maintain, that comedy is subjective. What makes you happy is not what will make me happy. So someone can crack a joke now, you will laugh. If I can't connect, I'm there, I'm like, what's it even? You get it. So when they were bold enough to organize events, I was so much happy. I saw Obi, I saw Lexi, I have seen Romanus, his is yet to come. A lot of them. So for me, it's a good thing, and I am happy that they were able to pull the crowd. I mean, you were at Lexi show. I don't know if you were at Comedian Waris' show, which also came off at the Snap Cinema.
I was there.
It was full, and the people who came enjoyed themselves. After the show, we interacted with them. We don't always want to go and then come and then report what we think was the case. You need to find out from the people who were there if they enjoyed or not. And all of these people that we spoke to, each and everyone said they enjoyed the show. So I am happy about the feat that they've been able to achieve.
Okay, so I think one thing I noticed with all of these comedy shows was how they were able to inculcate music.
Mm-hmm.
Has the music industry done the same favor to these comedians? Because anytime they have the platform, they make sure they at least put artists on it. But then there are so many shows, you don't see comedians jumping on it, not even as the MCs of the events.
I think with some of them, they've been MCs.
Okay. Very few.
Very few
of them.
Yeah, because Romanus was the MC for the MTN night of
Carol's
yes, he was the MC. I've seen Romanus also, Clemento Suarez also MC a number of music events. I think they've all contributed, or they've all done their best. We've seen music shows where comedians have been used as characters in the music video to also push it. Adverts and all of that. So you wouldn't expect to find comedians as MCs of almost every musical show, because mind you, it's not every comedian who is a good MC. they are two different things. The
Okay,
fact that
how about not just the MC? How about like they having, let's say, 5 minutes to perform during certain musical shows? Because sometimes I maybe know it's musical, it gets boring, and you need somebody to lift the spirits up. How about that?
Yeah, I think maybe moving forward, event organizers would have to consider that.
Okay.
I know there are some people who think that we are doing a music event, strictly music, and so we may not need comedians on the show. If you are able to get a comedian on the show to, spice it up, it's good. At the end of the day, you achieve a certain purpose. If you think that you can do without them and you want to really go without them, you can do that. The only thing that you need to do is to respect the other person's craft and not do something that will affect the other. So it's not compulsory to put someone on your show. You can decide whether to do that or not.
It seems the comedy industry now has new faces or has probably evolved into a new phase. Who do you think are the faces in your opinion, and are you thrilled about the new face, and is it the new face that is driving the industry to a positive light, or what is really working this time? I agree with you.
So I think it is both the new faces and the old faces.
Okay.
And I mean, in fact, even the old faces, we have veterans. So for instance, Obi and Concert show, Fritz Baffo was there, he's a veteran. KSM was there, Master Richard was there, even though he didn't perform. But Fritz Baffo performed and the people loved it.
Yeah, I saw a snippet of it, it was hilarious.
So that is a combination of the oldies and then the ones that are reigning now.
Yeah.
So you have Lexi perform, Obi also performed, Clemento was doing his own thing, but there were some new faces. Obi does this show with
Lexi, the House
show with Jerry, this professor,
Ojo.
All these people, they had the chance to perform one way or the other. So it's a combination of these factors, and I think now they are sharing more jokes that people can really relate with, and most of the jokes are current. They are jokes on things happening now that you can relate to. For instance, the Nana Akufo-Addo joke that will be shared, that they were in the cabinet meeting. They mentioned he mentioned one person's name. He says, so free to about said. He mentioned something so sending Momo, so okay, Momo to boot. How do we move one and still get our money? The way he said it was fun. I mean, I'm not a comedian. If you were there, you know how he. So it's the scripts. Now I think they have more witty scripts.
Yeah.
They share jokes that people can relate to. Things happening now. Obi, I'll still cite Obi because his show is current. When he did a political refugee, his jokes were based on things that were happening at the time. Kanda Per's issue had just come. The way he mounted the stage, he was in pajamas, so you would love it. He also shared jokes about the backlash that he received when he had shared a joke about former President John Dramani Mahama. So it's new. It's something that you can relate to. So it's not only about the people there, it's not only about the veterans, it's not only about the new ones, it's about the script as well. And the preparedness, the fact that you psych yourself up that I'm going to watch a comedy show. You do away with Ghanaian comedians are not funny thing, and then you are going to have a show and not to go and mark someone. Now when you get there and you have that mentality, small mistake they are not happening. So your focus is on the negatives instead of the positives for you to have fun. It's a combination of all these factors that's making them progress. Okay. And also the support from each other. So you realize that when Lexi was having a show, DKB was there, Clemento Suarez was there, all the comedians, almost all of them were there. The same thing applies to Obi, comedian-wise. So I think it's something that they are doing well and they should keep it up. I have always said that they need the support of corporate entities. I mean, if you look at what Obi has done, what Waris has done, what Lexi has done, I'm looking forward to seeing Foster Romanus' show. You notice that if they have the support that they want, if they get the support that they want, they can do magic.
Okay, let's take a break and then come and talk about some of the highlights of 2021.
Ranger na play awoba payoy. Na gaja awoba jagai. Aja tugbata awoba dotoy. You get level pass over jaje. Adidas, Adibas, Abibas, Nike, Nika, Nikes, Gucci, Gooey, Googie. What's up, lovely people? It's your favorite boy, Chief One. And I'm cruising my people, OnePlay Africa. I got change your crown.
Welcome back to the conversation. I'm doing this with Abrant and Pa, and we've spoken about the comedy industry. We are moving on to another thing that was a very high highlight of the year 2021, and that was the mental health of some of our artists or our stars. Let's be case point with Funny Face. Funny Face in the year 2021 saw a very ugly 2021 where it started from a personal point of view and then it's exacerbated to another point, and it became something that we couldn't put our hand on.
Yeah.
Now let me just ask, how do you think the mental health, in your opinion, of our stars were in 2021? I mean, I know for the whole world it wasn't well with 2020 because of the COVID, but in 2021, the way our stars conducted themselves, do you think that there was a problem that needed to be looked at mentally with our stars?
So I may have to go back to the comedy conversation, because you see, sometimes some of these things, when they happen, when people are going through a lot, aside from the words that people will speak, sometimes you need this comic stuff to, you know, elevate your mood. And so still I would want big up to the comedy people. So, you know, let me also commend what's his name, Mr. Dr. Likey, because this year too he actually did some good work. I mean, people have reservations about the way he shoots it and all of that, but trust you me, he entertained some people. Most times thinking in terms of comedy, it's just about stand-up comedy and all of that, but there are other areas. We have the skits and, you know, all of that. So now back to Funny Face and the other, celebs and their mental health. For me, Funny Face's issue was something that it was very troubling. In fact, this is someone who has had a very fine career. He had entertained people. He calls himself the children's president. The children love him and all of that. Then, for one reason or the other, marital issues, which I heard you say on Peace FM, that because of what is happening, you are scared to get married and all of that. You know, for him to have been in that situation was very, very unfortunate. I am not sure of what the family did to, you know, protect him or to ensure that he doesn't wallow in that situation. But I feel at a point the sort of attention that was given him was loose of a sort, because this is someone who was in court.
The family, the industry, or the state?
The state, first of all, because, you know, there was a report that the court said he should move away from social media for a while. And when he went to the psychiatric hospital, we could see him still do the live video with the nurses. Was he seen in Yama? These are my things and all of that. So you would expect that if the court had said this, at least those in authority would ensure that he moves away from it. So you ask yourself how he got all these things. And these were times that he kept saying a lot of things that sort of muddied the waters, you know. So I think we could have handled it well. Industry-wise, I know there were some people who were communicating with him. Of course, some would say that some of them, after doing that, they came out to tell them, oh, I've spoken to him, take screenshots and all of that, just for clout and all. Whichever way, at the end of the day, there was someone showing care for the person. So we've had Funny Face, we've had Abna Koko. In fact, there are a number of people who may not have come in the limelight, like for you to know that they are suffering from such issues. But you see, it shows that we really need to pay attention to our mental health. Agree, a humanity meeting at any point in time. There are some things that
may be bothering you. You don't know who to trust and tell. Before you realize I feel now kasa didn't show mu. And research has shown that at least when you discuss with people, you feel okay. That is why mostly when someone is in pain and they want to vent or they are crying, people will tell you, don't tell them to stop crying. I know someone will tell you, cry all you can or all you want, but make sure you get up at the end of the day so that you are not in a position where you can't help yourself and the issue degenerates.
That begs my next question. Artists and their managers, or these stars and their managers, or the team around them, do you think that it's about time they look at adding probably a psychologist or probably booking their artists or the stars for a counseling session as part of their daily routine? Because then if you have to vent and you think you are big enough and you can't vent to certain people, why not the professionals who can probably help? Do you think they should, is something 2022 we as an industry, the media, should push into the space?
Yes, we can. And of course, I am sure there are professional counselors who would even be happy to have a public figure, like any A-list artist or whichever category or grade that you want to put. For instance, let me use a name that I will not be in trouble. Okay, so yeah, let me use Romanus. So assuming, you know, Clement is someone that a lot of people love, Romanus. So you have this health professional that you go to. He will even be happy to help you out. There are people, last time I was having a conversation with a very huge personality. She's a female. Now, this is someone that almost every female in the industry, or how normal. So I asked her, also, how do you do with it? What's it say? Your counselor. So when they come and pour all these, let me to then. So of course, that's the way to go. People will say that where is the money, but Charlie, these are very important things that you need to invest in. And the fact that he is even attending to you as a celeb, it gives the person that excitement. Oh, may cancel this person, or may Buano money go through this number of things in order not to, be in a situation where it will be very discomforting. So I think it's a good suggestion. We should make use of the few resources that we have. It doesn't matter which institution the person is. It can even be in the church. It can be a member of your team who will be very good when it comes to counseling. But if there is the need to see a professional, I don't think we need to hesitate at all.
Okay, welcome back to the conversation with me, Tinyekinipa. I've been doing this with Abrantiapa, the head of entertainment at Ghana Web. Now, we spoke about artists and their mental health. And one thing that I am certain that took a toll on the mental health of these artists and even their fans was the artists and the law in the year 2021. Essentially, there was a brush with, like when you turn left, there's a brush, right? There's a brush. And for me, as even somebody that was not an artist or probably not that much.
You felt the heat.
Yeah, I felt the heat. And I mean, I could sometimes relate with some of the trauma some of these artists had to pretend they were not even going through in the first place. And what, in your opinion, what did you think? Do you think that in 2021, the artists became a little bit more aware of the law that probably they didn't even know existed? And how do you think it affected them as artists? Did they even stifle creativity of these artists?
Apin Polo started last year, right? So for her, she started experiencing the whole thing. Then Shatta and then Medikal. Did it stifle creativity? I doubt. I think in the case of Medikal and Shatta Wale, they rather decided to come out with a song. Shatta was singing about the plight of the prisoners. And he actually, even though we know the situation in the prisons based on, the reports that have come from there from journalists and people, ex-convicts, he also painted a clear picture by coming out with a song. So that, I think, it's creativity. So it didn't. I am not sure if it will have any effect. See, You see, Akra ubewu no tun din kofi nyame che Yesu kra ubewu. Yes. And no da hokra na. Oh, you see, there are some people, even though they know the law is there, sometimes they may want to test the law and then see that, hey, you know, so they may want to do that. I don't think it will stifle creativity. I don't think it will have an effect on the way people live their lives. I feel they will go about doing their normal things, and when we get to the bridge we will cross, because see, maybe nobody will now brandish a gun like Medikal did, even though he's still not been proven guilty. Is still at the court. But if you look at the comments he has made after coming out of the prison, that, you know, the stench and all of that, you may want to be careful. But ask yourself, please shoot armed robbers, right? When the armed robbers engage in a gun battle, in self-defense, people go to prison. Accidents happen due to a number of things on the road. People are still messing up. It may reduce it a bit. We will not see people brandishing gun. But as to whether it will affect what we call the showbiz culture, I doubt. I doubt. People will still put, if not post nude photos with my son or my daughter, we will still see these nude photos. They will go to the beach. So it will not affect it that much. I don't think it will have any effect on creativity. I don't think it will silence the people and all that. Yes, they will be cautious, but they will still live their lives.
Okay, I think then we have to go to the last topic, which is high life and Afrobeats, which was one of the most predominant conversation in the year 2021 under review. And I think, first of all, let me just ask, did high life do well? I will say Afrobeats, because Afrobeats, did high life do well in Ghana, especially the year 2021 under review?
So I've been trying to list some of the songs that were released this year, high life songs. I think this year it's rather the drill music that, you know, gained the attention, took over. So we had the Americans and Chame Kwame also doing that. Black Sherif came with his song. Darlington, Kwaku Darlington also came. So it was more of the drill music. Yes, somehow the Afrobeat also dominated a bit. I wouldn't say high life.
In the era that
yeah. So I was coming to that. I wouldn't say high life dominated, because you see, I tried to count some of the songs that dominated. Dollar on You, Praise, Famille, Touch It, that is debatable.
Oh well.
Though, yeah, that is debatable. But you know, somewhere along the line, Amapiano also came, and there was a time I saw a post from a DJ. I have forgotten his name. I have been trying to remember. He said that the musicians, they should, when it gets to a time, they should not blame the DJs for playing Amapiano, because it appears they are also joining the trend and releasing Amapiano songs. So when Azonto came, it was the same thing. Now Amapiano has come. It looks like everybody, I mean not everybody, but most people are moving there to do it.
Black did, Sefa did,
exactly.
What's his name?
Stoneboy, Hadia for real. And so exactly. So I feel we didn't churn out more of high life songs. In fact, my favorite high life song, Cry, did not hit.
Which one is that?
Four. Cry. Mr. Drew ni Kwabena. Yeah. That's my favorite. You know, so I feel we paid attention to drill music and then the Amapiano more than the high life. As to whether we'll see a difference next year, let's see what happens. If the Amapiano thing will still continue, if it does, we may be moving, even though the likes of Kwame Zagi, Kumi Guitar,
Roy and Stella, because he has a
yes, they are all releasing high life songs. It's not getting the buzz and the hype that we all anticipated, but the people doing high life, I must say that they've done well. I mean, back in the day, we were struggling for high life nominations in the High Life Music Awards category. Even the 3 songs that were there, you see that one be Shadani High Life and so their Kwako Show. But as time went on, we saw an improvement and all of that. I feel that we need to, yes, they are working, but we also need to, push. When I say we, everyone, the media, music lovers, and all of that, and almost omunye and you na the echi, cause we the echi kofu be pushy. Set dollar on you, touch it and kofu feeling and the so we'll get there.
Okay, so this has been some of the highlights. We'll talk about the prospects of 2022.
Regional play awo ba payoy, na gaja awo ba jagai, aja tugbata awo ba dotoy, you get level pass oba jaje, Adidas, Adibas, Abibas, Nike, Nika, Nikes, Gucci, Gooey, Googie. What's up, lovely people? It's your favorite word chief one, and I'm cruising my people. OnePlay Africa. I got change your crown.
Yeah, welcome back. We are almost at the end of the conversation. Then before we wrap up, I think I would like to know the prospects from Abranteapa 2022. What do you think? The comedy industry, do you think is going to continue to thrive, or there might be some, like a physical behavior that will probably set it back? What do you think?
I think it's going to move from where it is to a higher pedestal, because see, the guys are doing well. General Ntetia is doing his kids. Obi, Waris, Lexi, Foster Romanus. You have Jerry, and all of those people.
What's his name? Clemente Suarez, the one that does the National Theatre. The productions itself too are also doing the comedy productions are also doing
exactly.
Well.
So I see good things happening for the comedy industry, and I'm very much excited about it. The fact that these guys are getting the attention that they deserve. In fact, they've been craving this for a very long time, and now they have the reception, a very warm reception. And so I am looking forward to seeing an improvement, and also seeing some of these up and coming comedians also take over. Not as in relegate those who are there, but also get an elevation where they can also have their shows at Snap Cinema, and then gradually move to the National Theatre, and have a big concert and all of that. So I see a fantastic 2022 for the comedy industry in terms of stand-up comedy, skit, movie, and all of those. I think we have the men, not for the MPP.
Case in point with what happened in 2021, do you think that in 2022 our stars are going to take their mental health a bit more serious as they take their craft and their money?
I wish they do. As to whether they will, I think it's this is a kind of trying to think for them, but I think they should. That's what I would say. I think they should, because it is very, very important. It's not them alone. Myself, you, the production crew, everybody, we need to take our mental health very seriously, because you see, one thing is that sometimes we end up entertaining the people without being entertained, and we go through a lot. We are here smiling. The people don't know what is happening to me. They don't know what I'm going through. They don't know what happened before I came here. But trust you me, I mean, I did radio, and the one who took me through the radio lessons, the listener, and issue, and your radio knows now better now. Yeah, it may affect your playlist. Broken heart, I feel better now. Broken heart, maybe someone can relate. But at the end of the day, come on air, deliver, then you can go and then deal with your issues. So I think everyone needs to pay attention to their mental health. It's very, very necessary. Else, if it degenerates, that's when we see some of these actions that we are not proud of. But of course, if someone is going through this, we need to find a way to actually bring the person closer to us. I interviewed this guy, the Albert the journalist, even though a number of people were criticizing him on what he did. There was one thing that when we got to that part, I asked him, are you okay, like mentally? He said yes. Have you had people to speak to you? Because I know that there are backlashes from left, right, center, even though some people were defending him. But, at that time, you need someone to talk to you. You need someone to, to speak to encourage you and to, educate you on how, if there is a need to change something, if actually there is, on how to go about it and how to ensure that whatever you are going through does not affect you mentally. So we need to pay attention to all of these. I hope 2022 we do more of these things and do things that excite us, because if you want you if you're not rough
and we also foresee a more decorous 2022 when it comes to our artists and some of the things that they do that probably gets them entangled with the law.
I doubt. People will do what they want to do. People will do what they want to do. I mean, and they will be careful, but they will do what they want to do. It's just like that. There are some people.
How about 2022? The high life music, is it still going to be subsumed by the Afrobeat, or you think it's probably going to stand tall a bit with the Afrobeat music?
That one, so I would say I wish. See, I'm someone who is, I love high life. Like, so when I see them, it's just like comedy. I'm so happy when I see the comedy guys excel, same as high life. So now that a piano has come in there, honestly. But of course, if you are doing high life, if you are there and you are doing high life, never lose hope. Ebefa, Odituma, Ebefa, because we've seen Kwame Eugene do it, we've seen Kiddy, others, R2Bs doing it. So Ebefa, you just need to keep moving on. Oditum Nasefape, and no, you'll be fine.
Thank you so much for making this conversation very easy on me.
It's a pleasure being on the show. Michelle Ache.
This is our show.
So say me Felicia Sarkodie, because both conversation was too Sarkodie and tea. Yeah, me no. I say every day. Miss my boss no so.
Thank you so much for coming on the conversation, and I'm sure per the position you sit over there, you've seen the industry and your opinions are really authoritative, and I really enjoyed your point of view on this show. I hope you also did. Kindly drop your comments below if you're watching, and please follow OnePlay Africa on all social media platforms. What are your patron handles?
Facebook, Abrantipa Benefobuabin, Instagram, there, Abrantipa. Twitter, okay. The same thing. Right. There, Abrantipa, TheAbrantepa.
Alright, on all social media platforms is Tilly Ekelipa, and if there's anything you have to do, please do it now.
OnePlay. Add class to your music.